Okay, I'm Rebecca West, and I am not a member of Rebuilding Together Seattle, but I am partnering with them on a couple of different projects, and today I am here as one of the presenters. And the purpose, I'm hoping, of all you being here today is to learn a little bit about how to create homes that are working better for you and to make sure they're actually literally working for you. My presentation is going to be about, really I want it to inspire you to realize that the small things that you do in your home matter and understand why they matter so that you don't lose motivation on getting the things done. It's so easy to go after you leave a presentation and go, oh yeah, I'm totally going to do all those things that I was taught today, and then life takes back over, and the next thing you know, 3 years later, you're like, oh yeah, I think that was a good presentation, but I didn't really get anything out of it because I didn't take any action from it, right? So by the time you're done with my 20 minutes, I just want you to know that everything you take home today is meaningful, and taking that action can change your life. It really can. I'm an interior designer. I'm doing all the aesthetic parts of houses. I get to play for a living when I think about it. It's really fun. But I approach interior design from that same point of view where it matters. It matters that you come home to a space that makes you happy. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today, and hopefully giving you a few tools that'll make sure that you use what you learn. So my question to begin with is, if you had a magic wand that you could just wave and make the whole world look the way you want it to look, this moment, people would behave the way you wanted them to behave, people would wear what you wanted them to wear, your environment would look the way you want it to look, which for me would be like walking into the Container Store. Where everything matches and everything fits, kind of like playing Tetris too. If you do it just right, everything fits. If you could wave that magic wand, you probably have a sense of what that world would look like. And hopefully it would bring you calm and joy. And the thing is, we have a lot of that magic, but we either are afraid to use it or we don't know how to use it, and that keeps us from using our own magic. For me, that magic is in our environments. It's in our homes, and it's in our cars, and it's in the way we dress ourselves. These are the things that are our environment and that we actually have control over. We don't have control over other people's attitudes. We don't have control over our boss and whether they're going to bring into the office with them that day. But we do have control over what we wake up to in our spaces, and we have control over what we go to sleep at every night. Our homes have such a huge impact on the goals that we set for ourselves. So if at New Year's you set yourself the goal to eat healthy, your home can help with that. If at New Year's you set yourself the goal to spend a little bit more time with the people that you love, your home can help with that. And if at New Year's you set the goal to sleep more, get those 8 hours of sleep that you've been intending to get, your home can help with that. Unfortunately, your home can also sabotage all those goals, right? And many of us live in homes that actually make it harder instead of easier to be happy. Our homes are not neutral players. They completely influence our success. And so we make choices, sometimes without realizing it, that mean we're living in spaces that make it harder to sleep well. Where you wake up to a room that says, oh yeah, you didn't do the laundry. And by the way, haven't you been meaning to read those 20 magazines that you've spent $5 a month on for the last 12 months? And oh yeah, by the way, your kids haven't played with those toys for 8 years, but they're still in your bedroom. When you wake up to that, that's chaos. That's mental chaos, not just visual chaos. We have kitchens that make it harder to eat healthy because they're so covered in clutter that it's impossible to meet your New Year's resolution of preparing healthy meals at home, because who would want to walk into that kitchen at all, much less try to work in it? It's not functional. Now this is obviously extreme, but any counter that's covered covered in the junk mail and in the latest as seen on TV gadgets, that's not supporting the goal, maybe, that you have of preparing healthy meals. If you want to write the next great American novel, or you just want to start an at-home business, but your office has become more of a storage room than it is an office, it's not supporting the goals you've set for yourself. And it's not just not supporting the goals, it's sabotaging the goals. It matters. And it's not, even though these are super extreme pictures that I just showed you, it's not just disaster homes that hold us back. I had a client that came to me after she had gotten divorced, and she was really excited to restart her life. She moved into a new condo, which she was thrilled about, and is a blessing, right? Anybody would want to move into a new space that's clean and functions well. She moved her beige couch in, and she went, what have I done to my life? It's so beige. She felt like it was an apartment, even though she had spent money buying a property for herself. She felt like it looked so temporary, like she could move out at any time. Like, who knows who lives there? There's no personality in this room, which made her really question, what have I just done to my life? So she hired me, and together we worked to fill the room with her personality. And it was simple. It was an orange accent wall. It was a zebra rug off of Overstock and some inexpensive accessories. And then she felt like she had a home, or a house to call home, because house and home, those aren't the same words. And it wasn't just the fact that we brought in the things. That wasn't the point. The point isn't throw pillows. The point is happiness. That afterwards you go, yeah, I want to be home. I want to bring my new friends into the space. I want to bring the people I'm now dating into this space. I want to start and live my life in this space. I want to tell you a little bit about how all this started for me, because it's a great case study of what I'm talking about. 9 years ago, I got divorced. And I was an interior designer before getting divorced. I was actually a ballroom dance instructor. But I got divorced, I quit that job to try and work on the marriage, so now I found myself marriage and career free. And really all I had of any meaning was this space. But the problem was I was living in a haunted house. Because everywhere I looked, there was my old story. The paint color we had chosen together, the sofa we had inherited from his parents, the poster over the fireplace he had brought into the marriage. It really felt haunted, and I felt so trapped. But I don't know if you've noticed Seattle real estate, that's not something that's easy to get into. I wasn't getting out of it. I had to stay. So I needed to shift things. I got some old paint out of the garage, and before I show you the after, I will tell you these were not good design decisions. They were good life decisions. Because by painting my ceiling black and doing a Caribbean faux paint treatment on the back wall, which again, not the calm place that I would actually choose to live, it felt like I had moved. I felt like I'd broken free of a different story. So I called it the angry phase. It wasn't pretty, but it did what I needed it to do. And then that allowed me the freedom to think about my space and think about, okay, what do I want to live in? And be intentional with my space. So I created my feminine cocoon. And everything went pink and purple, and it was very like, no boys allowed in this space. This was my healing space, where I could figure out who the heck I was on the other side of divorce. Now I want to take a moment to say, I didn't buy this stuff new. This does not have to be an expensive endeavor. I sold all the old stuff on Craigslist, and I bought all the new stuff on Craigslist. It can be inexpensive to take control of your environment. Or it can be super expensive. There's no limit on what you can spend. It's amazing what's out there. But there's options. And then when I was done with my healing, I was able to shift it one more time and create what I called my date-ready space. And it hadn't shifted dramatically, because now it was still tied to the new me, but it was less man-repellent. And it was about travel and adventure and trying new things. And that was really where my life was going to be launching from. I had moved on without physically moving from my space. The things that are wrong, put that in quotes too, wrong in our home, because it matters what you think is wrong, not what somebody else thinks is wrong. The things that are wrong in our home are more than just inconvenient. They have a huge influence on our emotional well-being and our physical well-being when you're talking about things that are literally dangerous. Those things matter, but also the emotional part matters. For me, I got remarried. I've been remarried for 3 years. Our first year of marriage, we were living in a new place, and I came home for a whole year to a sticky door lock. That front door lock was so obnoxious. And so it meant that when I would get home, I would hope that he had gotten home ahead of me and left the door unlocked, which he doesn't. He's from Jersey. That's not a thing you do. So I'd come home, whether he's home or not, door's locked. I'd be frustrated. I'd have to put all my stuff on the ground, take my left hand and lift up the door just the right amount, and then stick the key in just the right amount, and then open it. Then the door is open, pick all my stuff back up in the house, and then go in the house. And that meant that every evening I would start off frustrated and annoyed and angry. And depending on what had happened earlier in the day, that changed where I directed the anger. Sometimes at my poor innocent husband who just locked the door, which is a perfectly reasonable thing to do. For a year I did this. And I do homes for a living. And it took me that long for me to wake up and go, I have control over this, and yet I'm letting this control me. That's weird. Went to Home Depot, bought myself a new lock set. 20 minutes that evening, I've got the whole thing repaired, and now I don't have to come home angry anymore. It's amazing. I had a client, we were doing a coaching session. She realized that she had burnt out light bulbs in her house that were making her crazy. Her closet light was burnt out. Every morning she'd wake up just a little bit later than she was supposed to, which meant she was rushing, so she'd flip on the light, but nothing would happen. There was enough light from the bedroom that she could get her clothes out of the closet, so whatever. She'd say, I've got to change that tonight because it's driving me crazy. By the time she'd get home, she'd be tired. She'd forget about it, only to Groundhog Day her way through her life for several weeks until we had this conversation. And she went, that's dumb. It was dumb. That night, her homework was go home, change the light bulb. A small thing, but it's not a small thing because that energy could be going to things that matter. There's no reason to be frustrated by tiny, stupid things in your house when you have the power to fix them, so that then you can spend that energy dealing with your in-laws or whatever actually matters in your life. All these things are more than just inconvenient. The sticky locks and the burnt-out light bulbs and even the drippy faucets that actually cost you real money, because that's money on your water bill. They're more than just inconvenient. They are affecting your well-being. So your happy place, why does it matter? It matters because it's easier to get dressed in the morning. A happy home with a closet in it, that closet doesn't have anything in it that doesn't fit you and isn't from this decade. Which means that when you get dressed in the morning, all you should have to consult is the weather, right? A happy home means it's healthier to prepare those healthy meals because you don't walk into your kitchen and then just walk right back out and order takeout because who wants to deal with that mess? In a happy home, it's easier to make time to exercise because your entry closet isn't so full of coats that don't fit anybody in the family and the stuff that you meant to take to Goodwill that you can't find your tennis shoes and the dog leash. But if those things aren't in your way, you can find the tennis shoes and the dog leash and take that walk that you've been promising yourself ever since New Year's, and it's now October. It's easier to say no. I love this because when you have chosen what's in your house and you love what's in your house, then when your sister says, hey, do you want great grandma's china set or china hutch, which is even bigger, you know the answer. You know whether or not that's going to bring you joy and work in your house, or if somebody else might get more joy and use out of it. And you can say to your sister, no, I think I don't need that. Let's find somebody else who would love it, love to have it. And then if you already said yes, you can look at your house and go, I hate that thing. That chair is not comfortable. I've hated it ever since I bought it. It was expensive, so I feel like I should keep it. But that's just throwing good energy after bad money. You know you can get rid of it. It's easier to say no when you've thought about what is supposed to be in your life and in your space. And it's easier to start over, just like the story I told you about my own divorce. Because when you're not sleeping on the same sheets you shared with your ex, that just creates better energy in your life. So if you want to create your own happy place, how do you do that? It's not about the right table lamp. People ask me all the time when I do my quick action sessions, Yeah, I just want to know if I need a lamp in this corner. Well, I don't know. I gotta ask you some questions. How do you use the corner? How do you want to use the corner? Maybe you feel like since there's a chair that you have sitting in that corner, you're supposed to have a lamp next to it. But maybe you have really been wanting a space in your house where you could do stretching and yoga. Maybe you don't need a lamp, maybe you need to get rid of the chair. So the 3 essentials to good design aren't which lamp do you buy. It's having the courage to say, this is what I need from my life and the people in my life and my home, and then building those muscles through small decisions like, all right, I'm gonna get rid of that dress that I wished I could fit into for the last 3 years, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm gonna accept my life the way it is. I'm gonna paint that wall purple, and it might turn out awful. It might be my own angry phase, but I'm gonna try it. You try courage in the small decisions, which means that you start to trust yourself so that when it matters, like asking for a raise, you've built up those courage muscles. You don't want to just start with the big things. That's just too scary. So if you want to create your happy home, you build the courage muscles. You gather the tools. And the right tools do matter. If you are a good painter, but you have a bad brush, you are a bad painter. So my favorite brush in the whole wide world is the Purdy brand. I love it. It's a 2.5-inch wide angled brush. Things like 10, 12, 15 bucks. It's an expensive paintbrush. But it'll last you 10, 12, 15 years if you take care of it. Whereas if you buy the cheap $3 brush from Home Depot, you can get the Purdy brand at Home Depot too. That's not a slam against Home Depot, it's a slam against bad tools. If you buy the cheap brush, then it's not even gonna last that one paint job. And if you try an edge between a wall and a ceiling, you can't do it with a bad tool. So the point is, buy or borrow or rent the best tools you can to get the job done because it will make you better at the job. And then gather the skills. And the awesome thing is, and why you're here today, skills can be learned. Don't be afraid to ask questions. When I was a new designer, I walked into the tile store, I said, I'm a new designer, I don't know anything about tile, tell me everything about your product and your store. Was I a little bit shy about it? Was I a little bit nervous about it? You bet, because I was supposed to be a designer. But I knew that if I let that get in my way, I would never grow in my career the way I needed to. Ask questions, ask for help. So the question is, what would you and could you change in your home with your magic wand that you have? The slip of paper that's in front of you, I'm going to do a very brief exercise. Some of you may have already filled it out, some of you haven't yet, so I want to do this. I want you to think of the most frustrating room in your house. If anybody doesn't have that slip of paper, raise your hand, I'll give you one. Think of the most frustrating room in your house and describe it in 3 words. We're low on time, so I'm going to go pretty quickly. Once you describe that room in 3 words, 3 adjectives, then I want you to write the opposite of those 3 words on the other 3 lines. So let's say you wrote the word dark. Maybe you write light or airy or fresh. It's up to you what the opposite of that word is. So you started with 3 adjectives that describe the most frustrating room in your house, and then you write the 3 opposite meanings of those 3 words. Then I want you to think about if those 3 words, the positive words, described your room, how would that make you feel? How would that change things for you? How would you use the room differently if you would? Then I want you to think of one thing you can do today when you get home to take that room one fraction of a step closer to 3 positive words. And it should be a small thing, something that you literally could do today. No matter how packed how busy your day is today, I want you to have something you could actually do. So maybe it's take 1 magazine out of the office and put it in the recycle bin. Maybe it's just take out the trash. Maybe it's open the window to air it out. Maybe it's change the burnt out light bulb. Maybe you have a little bit more time than that. Maybe you're going to declutter 1 drawer in the dresser. What's one thing you can definitely do today? Then I want you to think of one thing that you would need help with to take that room from the 3 negative words to the 3 positive words. One thing that you would need help with. And then I want you to think of your neighborhood, your neighbors, your friends, your family, maybe the people in this room as you get to know each other today, and think, who is one person that can help me with that? So maybe the big thing you need help with is moving a giant piece of furniture out of that room. You can't do that on your own. I do it all the time. You shouldn't. It's very unsafe. Maybe you can think of somebody who can help you with that. It's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to trade help. Maybe somebody can help you lift that piece of furniture, and you can help them figure out what the heck that medical statement is that just came to their house that they don't know how to read. Everybody's got skills that they can help other people with. So if you're afraid to just ask straight out, offer some help in return. This exercise, I want you to use it so that you have homework to go home with. I want you to take action today. Lead. Don't just be like, oh, it was really fun to learn how to hammer something. Go hammer something. It's not just about your skills and your physical strength. It is about courage and saying, I can do that, or I can figure out how to do it, even when you're not quite sure that you can. Because courage, they say, right, it's not the absence of fear, it's taking action even when you are afraid. I want you to never let lack of experience keep you from trying, because that is a poor excuse for not trying. And that's not just about your house, that's about everything in your life. I want you to never let fear dictate your choices, whether you're just choosing between 2 blouses or 2 paint colors or 2 boyfriends. Don't pick the safe choice just because you're afraid. Pick the thing that brings you joy and lights you up and adds to your experience of being alive, because we only get 1 round on the merry-go-round. And then definitely don't let other people tell you what your home should look like, and this includes interior designers like myself. We don't live there, you live there. Only you get to decide if you like blue or yellow. Never be talked into blue just because you think somebody's an expert and they know better than you. They don't. They don't live in your space. Only you get to decide what and who should be in your space. So today is a great day to break out a can of paint. I think a can of paint can change everything in your life. I hope that you take some action today, and if any of you are motivated to do so, please send me an email and tell me, or tweet me on Twitter at Happy Seriously, and tell me what you accomplished today that's taking your life and your home closer to that real happy place that you want it to be. To wrap up, we're going to do a quick drawing, because I am the author of a book called Happy Starts at Home, Getting the Life You Want by Changing the Space You've Got, and one of you will win this book. It is an exercise-based book, because just like the talk today, I don't want to be prescriptive about what you should do in your home. I want to ask you the questions to help you come up with the answers on your own. May your home always be happy.